Alrighty, so here we are with the FR50. A lot of y'all have been asking about this head. I just haven't had time to do a good walk around of it. This is still not available inside the United States. John Deere sold me the head. It's massive. It is ungodly massive. It's a full rotating 340 degree wrist. It has the big, I believe that's the big 24-inch disc underneath it that the FR24B uses. I believe that's the same disc. I know that's the same wrist, but yeah, it looks like a Tiger Cat head. Before anybody goes to jumping on that shit wagon, you'll get no love from me out of the Tiger Cat cutter stuff. Well, right now, track cutter stuff. That's another story in its own. We ran. I'll dip into that real quick for a second. Okay, so this is the first John Deere machine that we've owned since 2008. I had the privilege of working with John Deere at the final stages with the M series cutters. I ain't gonna lie to nobody, they took care of us with it. Working with Deere through that process was awesome. Same way with this head here. I was part of the CAG on the design team to go over stuff with it before they launched it in Brazil. This head was designed to be working in the eucalyptus plantations in Brazil, but we've run the 822C model track cutters since 2008. We've had the B model. I guess you'd have called it a B. It didn't even have it, it was just a plain 822C. We've had that. We've had two 822Cs, and yeah, two 822Cs, and Dad's job currently has an 822D on it. Before the D model, you could have cut me and I'd have bled yellow. I love Tiger Cat track cutters. I loved them. As much as I like this one, honest to goodness, if they would give me another brand new C model like my first C model was, I'd probably take another one, but they don't make them no more, so here we are. I'm not really trying to bash Tiger Cat or anything like that. I love their loaders. I love their rubber tire cutters. Their skidders are okay. They used to be just about as unbeatable as the loaders in the rubber tire cutter, but their new D model track machine has give our job nothing but grief. It has been just ungodly breakdowns and pump failures. I think it's had pump failure. I know it has pressure issues all the time. Just randomly the pressures just get off on it. It's already had a motor put in it. The arm on the head has about fallen off. Had to have all the bottom pin and everything in the arm rebuilt, and the machine don't even have 6,000 hours on it. It's already had a track job. The tracks didn't last near as long as the first Tiger Cat track cutters we had. So anyway, I got in with Deere with the prototype for the M cutters that they were doing. They're nice machines now. Some people will tell you otherwise. I really like working with the Deere engineers. That right now they have a group of engineers that are willing to listen to the logger and what his needs are, and do their best to make a machine do what the logger needs, instead of when I first started working with some of the Tiger Cat engineers, they were kind of like that, but they still took your idea, but they would, you know, kind of put their own spin to it. Now, anytime I worked with the Tiger Cat engineers, it was always a thing of, they never said this, they just reading how they act toward you whenever they speak with you. The Tiger Cat people today put off the impression of we're the educated engineers, and our knowledge and schooling says that your idea is junk and it won't work, so they don't even try it. Whenever I was working with John Deere with the 803M, it didn't matter if I told them that I think the boom needs to be painted with pink and purple polka dots and it would make it run better. Regardless of what they thought, if they hadn't tried that idea yet to make the machine better, they went and bought some pink and purple paint and started painting the boom, you know. It was that way with working with them. But anyways, that's a quick dive. You know, some people already started in on the Tiger Cat, John Deere fiasco. It's never going to end. They all break. It boils down to service. In my area, I will say Tiger Cat has the better service, but knock on wood, this machine here just rolled over 1,800 hours yesterday, and I have not changed one hose inside this machine. By the time the Tiger Cat track cutter had 1,800 hours on it, I can't tell you how many hoses we had to replace in the inside of it. Wire issues. It was debris issues. That thing collects debris. You can see the debris in the middle on mine right there. You can see that. That's from working like 3 days. I haven't dug that out in 3 days. I can get up there and dig it out in like 5 minutes. Tiger Cat machine, you'd be at the D model, you'd be up there for probably 30 minutes, having to stand on your head. Then you got to climb up on the roof and knock it all off before you can open the big old hatch that they have back there. Now I don't know, I'm just not a fan of the Tiger Cat track cutters anymore. Your loaders, if Tiger Cat is watching, your loaders, unbeatable. I don't ever see myself buying anything other than Tiger Cat loaders. They're just, I mean, somebody had to come out with something just ungodly better. The loader that loads trucks on my job, that thing has almost 20,000 hours on it. Original pumps, original motor. All of the boom cylinders have the original pins, bushings, packings. Same thing on the bucket. They still have all the original packings. Well, we've done some things to it, but you just can't beat the Tiger Cat loaders. But anyway, the FR50 head. I got invited to go to Dubuque Works, I believe it was. Yeah, Dubuque Works. We went to Dubuque, Iowa, to be a part of the CAG whenever they was first drawing the designs up on this, and they had actually had the very first one built, and we got to go around it and give our opinions on it. It was quite shocking that I was the only guy there that paid this head any attention. There was probably 24, 25, maybe 30 people that they brought up, and there was one or two other guys that kind of give this head some attention, but for the most part, everybody else was fixated on the center post heads that they had there. Even though that they cut small wood, they didn't fool with this. But so we walked around and got to give some opinions and whatnot, and they changed some of that stuff already, and then they put it to work. Like I said earlier, it was designed to be used in Brazil, in the eucalyptus. This was never even marketed to come into America because they just said that there wasn't a market for it. In my area, they're wrong. I've very strongly let them know that too. This is, you see the type of timber I'm in right now. This is what I would consider good wood. This stuff here is 60 foot, 50 to 60 foot tall. Averaging, it probably averages 8 or 10 inches at the butt, mostly 10. I mean, it's good wood. But most of what I normally cut is on an average of a 6-inch diameter, 35 foot tall, 12-year-old, either loblolly or slash southern pine. You know, it's not very damn big, and you need something. The trick to a track cutter to making it work efficiently is you have to keep this head cutting. Anytime you're dumping or pulling back out of a middle or anything like that, you're not cutting trees. It's not like a rubber tire where you can run a little faster and run back up to the next, tree to kind of make up for time you might have lost over here doing something else. A track cutter, you have to stay like 3 trees ahead of yourself and have a plan. It's not just, you don't just get on one of these and just the wood just fall out without planning it. And this head really, I can't stress enough, really helps ease the pain of having to plan so strategically with every little move, because even with the Tiger Cat 5600 head, all of our Tiger Cat track cutters I've ever owned has the 5000. That is all of our machines have ever had is the 5000. The new rubber tire that we have has the 5600. Tiger Cat refuses to put a 5600 head on the 822s. They said it weighs too much. So all of our Tiger Cats have always had the 5000. And in average timber that I normally stay in, you're looking at cutting 11, 12 trees at a time for a bundle. This head in the exact same timber, 5000 beside it, this one, cutting right beside the 5000, this head will hold easily 16 trees. If you kind of take your time and place it right, you can get as much as 18, 20. I've put 22, 24 in it a few times. One of the things that this head, before I go much further, this head is a prototype. I said we just acquired it from Deere, but this still was an early designed head. I've been running it for almost a year now. When there's several things that they've updated on this for production models, and production models won't be available in the States until early next year, they're telling me. So I'm hearing rumors that it may be towards the end of this year, but more than likely it's going to be early next year. But basically, one of the things that kind of limits it some, I'm getting picky here because it will cut 16 trees easily in my average stuff. One of the things they done that I didn't like you can see the difference in your grab arm and your accumulator arm. If that was just 4 more inches longer for the accumulator arm, it would hold more trees. And I don't necessarily think the paddle out here needs to be longer. The actual arm inside the stationary piece, the solid piece, needs to come out about 4 more inches from where it's at right now, because what it does is it'll get like that, and you'll catch, you know, just say 16 trees, and then you go for the 17th and the 18th tree, and the grab arm will catch it, but the accumulator arm, whenever it hits it or tries to, when you catch it with the big arm and then you accumulate it, it kind of pushes it out from behind the accumulator arm because it's a little bit shorter, and then you pull out of the middle and the limbs hang to other trees and it just pops them out, and then you drop to 1 or 2 trees, you know. I mean, so long as you're paying attention to your bundle, because you can see through the head there, and you can pay attention to your bundle. As long as you pay attention to your bundle, it doesn't do that, but you have to watch what you're doing. I was told that they've fixed this. That's really the only complaint I have on the head, other than its weight. It's heavy. Whenever they delivered this machine, they sent it to me with an FR21B head, full rotating design and everything. And whenever they put this one on there, we actually had to tweak the pressures a little bit, not much. We had to bump the pressures up some to keep my boom speed as fast as it was. But I mean, it wasn't much. It was just a little bit. It made the machine kind of sluggish, and when you got kind of far out, it didn't want to necessarily stop whenever you would, you know, hit it or tell it to stop. But like I said, we played with the pressures a little bit, and it's heavier than the FR24 head. That's why it has the FR24 wrist. They are working on a new wrist. They do have it'll be an FS, I believe, 50 head. It won't have the full rotating. It'll be just like a typical thinning head that rotates, you know, 30 degrees to the left, 30 degrees to the right. It may be a 110 degree head, I'm not sure, but you know, it's going to be a limited rotating wrist, not a full rotation like this. The full rotation wrist with this thing is just kick-ass. I've got a tape measure. I'm gonna, I guess, pull a tape on it, show y'all, give you some ideas of just how big it is. You see there, bumped up against it. So it's like 33.5 inches inside diameter, or inside the plates here. Cutting up to the saw plate here, if you was cutting big timber with it, it is a 20-inch cut saw. But the pocket, you wouldn't want to be trying to cut large timber with this, because the second that tree slips up in here and it hangs, and then it can't get out of this horn and everything that they have, you probably just rip the wrist right off this thing. But from the back of the pocket out to the front of the disc is like 35 inches. I mean, this thing is massive. It is massive. And the inside back here, basically 16 inches is what I would say. I mean, it would hold a 16-inch tree back here comfortably. For sure a 15-inch. But like this second thinning I'm in right now, you can see where the wood rides inside of the head. I can hold, in this kind of stuff, 9 trees or so on average. it holds wood. If I can fill it up completely, it 3 headfuls will make a full drag, a complete full. He can't fit no more wood inside his grapple. My 748L, it has a 19-foot grapple on it, and 3 headfuls with this will load its ass. So that's pretty impressive. You know, with the Tiger Cat head, with that grapple, it was taking like five, you know, I think it was 5 bundles, and you really had to pack the crap out of it to get 5. Realistically, you were looking at 6 to make a drag for the 19-foot grapple. Just walk on this side of it. I mean, try and show y'all. Like, I'm 5'10", and you can see how much higher above me this thing is. It is massive. It is a big ass head. It's just huge. Whenever they brought it out, I was like, holy crap. It's huge. But the horn system that they have on it, way better than the Tiger Cat. It will hold the trees in tight, whereas with the Tiger Cat head, all this over here to the right is open, and the trees will swing around inside of it, and this holds them tight, and it lays them down straighter in the row for your skidder and whatnot. It made a big improvement on our job. Really like it. Not a lot of people use it because they don't really use the high accumulating stuff. A lot of people use a lot of the center post stuff still, which is, I mean, some of the guys that were up there for this told me that they are clear cutting 6 and 8 inch diameter trees and then using center post head for it. I just don't understand why you would want to do that when you could have this. And I know what a center post head will hold, and it's not even close to what this will hold. It's impressive, to say the least. But that's a quick walk around of it. Try and get some more videos of it working for everyone. But don't ask your John Deere dealer for it just yet. Like I said, it's not available. It's we were very lucky to get in on the CAG with it, and then them selling it to us for helping them. And I know that they're fixing to start doing marketing for it and stuff. So I'm excited to see more people get to use this. But anyway, we'll catch y'all later.